And a very big welcome, everybody. Flow Friday, episode 29. Happy New Year. 2025 is here, and I'm going to tell you what a massive, massive year of AI and automation it's going to be. Hey, great to see so many faces back again. And what I'd love you to do is just rename yourself in the chat. Pop in your name and then also the city and the country you're from, so we can see where everyone's from. And so here's a little bit of hint if you haven't done that one before. Here's a little tip for you. You might see it pop on my screen of how to actually rename yourself. Make sure go into the where your name is, and in the more section, select rename, and just pop in first name, and or you can do it like mine. I've got full name and then the city that you're in today, because sometimes I'm not in this city, and then the country you're in as well. Would love to see where everyone's from. Hey, thanks for doing that. And also, just so that you can find the emojis, make sure you just pop an emoji in so you can find that, because we want to see lots of engagement and participation along the day. So grab the react area on Zoom and just give me any of your favorite emojis so you can see that there. Get that one going. And a little tip there for you as well. Yeah, thank you very much, Genevieve. Love to see a heart sign there. And Kay, the Tada, fantastic as well. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Hey, I just come back from the United States and spent some time at a conference that was all around AI and automation. And I got to tell you, Flow Friday engineers, you are way ahead of the curve with what's going on globally at the moment. It's amazing sometimes that we will get together and in our little bubble of AI, not realizing that you are not just exactly where you're meant to be, but you're at the forefront. And the next 2 months, got to say, everything's going to change for you. The level of your skills are about to go through the roof as we start rolling out some of the new features in Raya, of which you're going to see some today. In fact, you can pretty much almost guarantee that every time you get together on a Friday, there'll be a new feature for you. But also, we're about to bring you an incredible level of new support and ability to just scale out results in your organizations, in your departments, in your roles, that will start to deliver what I think we've all desired, this huge leverage effect from AI. Now, the penetration and usage of AI globally is actually a lot lower than we might think. Even with this, massive adoption, as a technology, generative AI has seen a faster adoption than any other technology we've ever seen. If you look at the rate of sign-ups that happened originally to ChatGPT through OpenAI, but then we've seen now new models and players come out, and Claude from Anthropic has certainly skyrocketed in comparison. And OpenAI is going to need to run really fast to continue to offer new features to be able to new models to stay ahead. And I think one thing that we've seen in December is the incredible speed of change of the models as well. So O1 has come out. If we looked at what GPT-4 and GPT-4o was able to achieve from a level of reasoning, it still couldn't get to the level of the mathematicians. What they were looking for is the ability to process these really complex scenarios. And O1 came through and delivered this frontier mathematician calculations where you need deep levels of reasoning to actually achieve it, like 25% of what an average human would do approximately, but then able to deliver at a level that a master mathematician would do. And so this is where it came out and said, have we reached AGI? artificial general intelligence with O1 and then O3, which is the next model. And the reality is that although from perhaps solving a mathematical problem, you could argue that yes, it's there. For most of us on a day-to-day, utilization, what we're really expecting is that we have AI agents that can be off executing work that you would normally do yourself for you on a daily basis. And the answer to this really is about having an AI agent that can utilize these models that can then go and take the action. And that action being not just in the moment, but actually setting it up so that it can do it either at the times of the day or week that you require it to happen, or based on some of the action that's occurred, or based on your conversation verbally with the agent that'll go off and do that work. Now, the concept of an agent going off and doing a complex range of steps for you based on you triggering it, you're going to be able to do that as early as Friday next week. I'm going to show it to you, a bit more about it to you today and as early as Friday next week. The ability to be able to talk to an agent also, and it to go off and talk to other agents to decide which agent to delegate the work to. That's coming in the next couple of months in rail. So imagine being able to have 10, 20, 50, 60, 100 different agents, but all you need to do is talk to one agent and it will go off and actually find the right agent to do the work and execute the tasks for you. This is mind-blowing what's coming next, and it's going to happen so fast in 2025. But before we jump into showing you some of the new tech, and today's going to be perhaps a little bit more show and tell than the need to be hands-on, because I've got a huge gift for you today. In that, which I'll tell you about in just a sec. The state of what's happening in the world from a job market perspective, I think, is worthy of having a conversation about, because there's going to be, as there already has been, a lot of fear around AI. And with that, whenever we have ambiguity of the future, fear will increase. But when we can have the knowledge and actually understand what's coming next, we can remove the ambiguity, remove the fear, and we can approach this with the inquisitive mind, which is this concept of approaching the situation with love, not fear. So let's jump into some of the data from the World Economic Forum, because they released earlier this week the insight into the state of the job market and the expectations of what we will see with change in between 2025 and 2030. So this is some of the highlights from the Future of Jobs report that came out earlier this week. And in it, there's no doubt that we're going to see that this is just a huge year of change now and forever going forward. Here are some of the highlights. The World Economic Forum did a study from over 1,000 leading global employers, which represent 14 million workers across 22 industries. And 60% of employers are expecting to see a level of transformation occur in their businesses by 2030. And that AI and information processing, which when we think about it, it's all about the information and the data. The processing, they're expecting to see an 86% impact, and then also for robotics and automation. So now when we talk about robotics, there's two types of robotics. One is the physical humanoid robotics, if you think about those, that Tesla's releasing, and Boston Dynamics and so forth. And there's this forecast that by 2050, there'll be more humanoid robots in the world than there are humans. Picture that for a moment. Aren't we living in the most remarkable times that by 2050, the forecast is there'll be more humanoid robots? Like, it'll be like the scenes out of the movies in science fiction, that what we're going to be able to see. It's quite incredible. Now, the other thing that's standing out in this report is the concerns around the cost of living. Pop a 1 in the chat if the cost of living has been going up significantly for you. Pop a 1 in the chat if you're certainly feeling that. I should no doubt see everything blow up. I had a crazy moment in Miami when I was flying off to this event in the US, and I got to the airport and I bought a salad, bit of protein, and a bottle of water, and I think it cost me like $42 for that lunch. It was like, wow, no wonder. That part of the world in particular, let alone all of our parts of the world, the cost of living is continuing to go up. And as one of the speakers at the event said, we don't actually have in the US a problem with access to labor, a labor problem. What we've got is a pay affordability problem for businesses. And that because the cost of living has risen so much, the need for employees to have higher salaries, but the businesses can't afford to pay those higher salaries. The economics are not stacking up. And so this is where this massive driver for transformational change to utilize AI and automation is required so that higher salaries can be delivered per individual because their output, the productivity has risen. And I turn a lot to, I love the work by Tony Robbins. He's been saying it for a long time. It's all about value exchange. And that for every individual, what we need to do is ensure that our value exchange for our salaries is higher than the salary so that we're able to produce and productivity at a much higher level. Now, the beauty of this time that we're in, that doesn't mean we need to work longer and longer hours to do the value exchange. In fact, it's about focus and execution around the use of AI and automation that will deliver these extreme results. And so now's the time to actually be learning this, every week, continuing to top up with the latest information and be going through systematically in the work that we do in our roles and looking for the opportunities for AI and automation. Now, at first, that's quite difficult to do for most people because the tools haven't quite been there yet. Like just using a chat interface gives us a nice productivity boost, but we don't always think about all the next things we could do. And really what's required is that we're able to find a process that we're working on, actually get clear on that. So if we've got a goal, and then we find the processes that drive that goal result output, and we go, right, how can we convert that process into steps that have AI and automation to drive that, and as much as possible run it on autopilot, or at the very least get it into steps where the AI and automation will drive it, and then you do your human in the loop check, do the approvals, and then move to the next step. I'm going to show you what that looks like today in reality that will be in your life in the next week, which is pretty cool. So with this, what's interesting is that what will become really in demand as a skill is creative thinking, resilience, flexibility, and agility. And so creative thinking is going to require that thought process to say, how do we improve a process? How do we actually now apply AI and automation? The resilience is about the fact that whenever we go to learn something new, it can be hard, right? Because when you go to adopt a new skill, we say with Go Team and Multiply Tech, you are brave, resilient, and remarkable. The brave part is because when you go and do something new, it's a challenge. We often feel a bit scared. We haven't done it before. We're out of our comfort zone. That's perfect. That's exactly where you want to be, out of your comfort zone, learning the new skill. And it's about stepping into that versus shying away. Because whenever you go to do something new, norepinephrine is going to increase in your brain. And unless you're getting a bit of progress happening, you don't get the dopamine release that kind of draws you into it. Good news is, in this community, is that we're going to keep feeding you every week high quality and content and templates to help you progress forward. And that we've got a whole new remarkable offering coming too that will absolutely help you scale your organizations, your roles, and help you exceed in what you're doing. Now, that bravery part, as you're learning it, you step into it. The resilience component is because you won't always get it right the first time. And this requires very much having a mindset of the scientist. And the mindset of the scientist, the scientific approach is to say, I have a hypothesis that's of the goal that you want to achieve. You have the methodology, that's the experiment that you're going to run, and then you're going to get an outcome at the end of that outcome. And then at the outcome, it's either what you desired or it's not quite there yet. Now, if you're a scientist and you're developing something like a new drug or vaccine, and you're on that journey, let's say, to cure cancer, you're not going to get it right the first time. You're going to need to adjust that experiment and do it again and again until you get the result. Now, as a flow engineer, you've already seen the first starting of that. Like, you can create an AI agent, you can create an agentic workflow, and sometimes you need to reprompt in order to get the outcome that you desire. Now, as we move over into automation, AI plus automation, you'll see that you'll have a bit more tinkering to do. But once that's in place, you will have achieved that outcome, and you can put it on autopilot, repeat, or allow it to execute based on different actions. So resilience is important because it's part of that growth and learning piece to get to the output, which is always remarkable in this zone. And we're certainly going to make it easier and easier and easier to do this, but you will be the one that makes it easier by continuously upskilling yourself in this particular zone. Now, flexibility, okay, that's about being able to make those changes, being open to the change as they come along, right? That flexible mindset, realizing that, you know, if you want greater things in life, it actually requires change. Now, if you want extreme, outstanding greatness in your life, we often need to kind of kill off the old version of ourselves and create a new identity to move forward. And as you join these Flow Friday sessions, what I really want to see for you is that you start to rewrite your identity as a master of AI and automation. And you just think AI first in everything that you're doing, because you go, okay, I need to do this action or activity. How can I apply AI and automation so I can put this on repeat? Because if you think about any major goal that you want to achieve in your life, and you get the beautiful clarity around, you know, the X to Y by when, the goal itself will never be achieved unless we have incredible systems in place to deliver that result. Put it to you this way, put a 2 in the chat. Have you ever had a goal that you were really excited about, but you didn't hit it? Pop a 2 in the chat. Have you ever had that before? Goal that you're really excited about, but you didn't hit it. I think we're all old enough. Yeah, it's blowing up. Beautiful work. The reason why we don't hit it is because we haven't put the systems in place, the behaviors and the habits that consistently will drive the result. Now, the really cool thing is that with AI and automation, we can start looking at what are those behaviors I would normally need to do, and then design the AI agentic workflows and automation workflows to actually execute that work, to get us to delivering those goals. And so we're going to be able to 10x or more. You're going to see in the upcoming weeks where we're going to show you how to do like the work of 6 people with just 1. And it is mind-blowing what's possible. Okay, so the answer is really in the systems. And then finally, that item there, agility skills, is the ability to change based on the strategic landscape, okay, quickly and rapidly, like no one else. And that's one of the beauties of Flow Fridays and being part of this community, is that you're going to get the tools to be able to have a level of agility in business and your roles that previously was never possible. So I applaud you all for being here, and I'm so excited for what 2025 will bring to you. Now, here are some of the numbers that is why people get a bit scared about AI and automation, but it's a bit bigger than just AI and automation. It's actually the economic drivers that will see a displacement of 92 million jobs will disappear between now and 2030. But the good news is that not everyone will talk about is there's 170 million new jobs that will come during this next 5 years in its economic phase. That's the prediction. Heck, could be more, is the reality. And the way I see it now is that there are 4 key roles that are really going to dominate and in support of all other roles. And these are AI and automation consultants that are going to go into organizations to help strategically design, where AI and automation can be applied. That's the first one. The second one is the AI automation engineer. Now, the AI automation engineer is someone who's actually got some coding skills, specifically around JavaScript. They understand how APIs work and data structures work, but they won't need to go and do hardcore coding. They're going to use platforms like ours, Raya Pro, to be able to do the AI agents, the workflows, the automations in a step-by-step point-and-click approach. And actually soon you'll be able to even just talk to the AI and it will build these out for you. But that's a spoiler alert coming up. That's the second role. The third role is the flow engineer. So the flow engineer, just like what we're doing here, won't need to have this software engineering background to do the hardcore coding. And in reality, as flow engineers, in the next few months, you're going to be doing some JavaScript coding. And the AI is going to help write that for you. And you're going to start learning more about this so that you can speak and type in the language that's going to get you even further impact. By the way, pop a 3 in the chat if you've done some form of coding before at any level. I'll put a 3 in the chat. Ryan, James, Rasul, Fritz, Lou, Genevieve, Kerwin, great. Jeffrey, I know, look, James, you're such a rock star, brother. You're the epitome of always be learning and smashing it. Now, put a 4 in the chat if you've never done any coding before, and you might have been like, oh, it's a whole crazy new world. Put a 4 in the chat. The cool thing is the upskilling that you'll get from coming to these sessions, like you won't even know yourself in 3 months. You'll be doing such cool things. You'll be having conversations like my EA Donna has with her kids when she goes home and says, hey, son, I built AI agents today. And the son goes, no way, I don't believe you, mum. What's coming next for is just so cool. Okay. Now, next thing is upskilling and reskilling, right? It's going to be the requirement. And if in the survey of if the world's workforce was made up of 100 people, then 59 people would need to be trained by 2030. So 59% of people are going to require training and upskilling. And of those employers, they foresee that 29 could be upskilled in their current roles and 90 could be upskilled and redeployed elsewhere within their organization. However, 11 would be unlikely to receive the reskilling or upskilling needed, leaving their employment prospects increasingly at risk. So the game, of course, is just going to be upskill, upskill, upskill. And as we've heard before, people won't lose their jobs to AI. They'll lose their jobs to people who are able to apply the AI. And so, because the reality is that everyone can upskill and actually elevate to new roles. And we are on a mission to make Cebu in the Philippines the AI automation hub of the Philippines, Asia, and then the world. And we're currently on a program to train over 100,000 Filipinos in AI. And we sat down with the mayor of Cebu City this week. Nina came and joined me, and we sat down. With big thanks to Nina's mum who opened the door to get us in there. And the quick version of the story is that the mayor of the city said, thank you for coming to see us. This is exactly what we've been looking for. How can we help you? Let's fast track your education and get it into an official certification. And let's do this. Let's make Cebu, in the Philippines, the AI and automation hub of Philippines, Asia, and then the world. Because the cool thing is we build the tools here, we've got the knowledge, and it's up to us to now pass that on to the students, the teachers, and the community. And so in our mission, we'll be for every corporate person that gets trained here, we will sponsor 2 students or teachers, students and teachers, to be trained for free so that we can rapidly move that forward. Now, as we take that program here and we make it work, if you want to adopt it in your city, in your hometown, and do the same thing, we'd love to see that as well. We'll share all the information, we'll open source it, give you what you need to take it forward, because I don't think we can wait for the education system to catch up on this. I think it's going to be up to us as parents and entrepreneurs to be taking this information and just bringing it forward to those that need it most. Because the pace of change is so fast. All right, okay, so skills gap and categorically considered the biggest barrier to business transformation by the survey. 63% of employers identifying them as a major barrier. I mean, it makes sense. If we don't have highly skilled people that are able to do this, the ability to move forward, you just get stuck. And at this AI conference that I was at in Orlando, 500 people there, and the most common thing that kept popping up was like, oh, I'm just going to get someone from the Philippines who's already skilled in AI and automation to do this. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't necessarily exist yet. But here at Go Team and Multiply Tech, we are actually rolling out the program to make sure that people can be fast-tracked in that. And it's kicking off officially in about 6 to 8 weeks' time. I'm going to tell you about that in a sec. 85% of employees surveyed plan to prioritize upskilling their workforce. 70% of employers expecting to hire staff with new skills. They're expecting to hire the staff with new skills, right? AI and automation, but that's what they want, but will it be there at the level they need? 40% planning to reduce their staff as their skills become less relevant. Okay, if the value exchange is not there, they'll be reducing those roles. Or in some cases, the skills won't be required anymore. We've just moved on to this new 170 million jobs as a result. And 50% planning to transition staff from declining to growing roles. So the roles changing. The funding and provision for reskilling and upskilling will be seen as the 2 most welcome public policies to boost talent availability. So I also put it out there for all of those that are learning with us, is there's going to be opportunities to then train others. So we'd really love to see that the skills that you learn through this program, you utilize that to go off and create revenue for yourselves and teach and train others as well. So in some cases, you'll do it for free. In other cases, you'll make revenue, and we'll have programs for you to help support that as well. Now, with the technology drivers that are coming here, naturally, not surprisingly, 86% of the drivers are coming from AI and automation processing. And Coursera actually shared that the demand for Gen AI training is just skyrocketing globally. And as we see that in a graph, it's better to see it. Look at April 2023, demand for generative AI training. Have a look at where it goes now. It's just going to keep skyrocketing. So definitely exactly where you're meant to be when joining us. Here are the roles, the greatest growth roles. Big data specialists, AI specialists. Not surprising, this is where it's going. Now, fintech, most of you know that we're in the fintech space as well. And then data specialists also. What's I was going to have for you, I didn't put it in, the declining jobs, like where the most decline is happening. Things like postal service. Believe it or not, accountants is one of the jobs that in bookkeepers in the next 5 years that's going to be one of the fast-paced declining roles as AI and automation takes over. Big changing world. You're definitely in the right place. Let's have a look now at what's coming next for us here with Raya Pro and our Multiply AI agents in 2025. More models and more control over your models. That's happening right now. And in the next 2 weeks, you're going to see some more models coming out. The ability to copy and paste our work and your work. That is something I'm going to show you today. You're going to see how and I'll give one to you today. Rather than having to most Flow Fridays we've been getting together and you create the agents, you might create a prompt template, and then we create a workflow. Well, now we can copy and paste, give that to you in your accounts. So if you like that idea that we can do all the work and just give it to you so you can fast track, how does that sound? If we could set that all up and hand it over to you, would that be nice? You can let me know in the chat if you like that idea. There we go. Thank you. Nice for sharing the largest declining roles there in the chat as well, so we can see those. We're also going to be doing the same thing for our automation templates as well. And that's where you'll get the big game changer. And we'll be able to do a lot of the detailed thinking and then hand that over to you. We'll also have a more advanced versions available as well. What else we're seeing? So the AI and automations, voice is coming very soon. The team are probably getting close to finishing that off so that you'll get the full two-way conversation in real time with your AI agents. This is going to change the way we direct the agents to now we can do that conversation of prompting at the moment. That's really cool, but it's moving to just full two-way conversation. If you've used the premium version of ChatGPT where you can chat to the voice, same concept there. The differentiator compared to what OpenAI's got is that you're going to end up being able to actually direct your agents during the day via voice, and your what we will call your director agent will end up being like a teammate that you're talking to and you're delegating to tasks to, and voice is going to become such a daily part of our activity. And this is actually an extreme breakthrough when we think about productivity and results delivery. And the reason why is this, and if you've heard it, may or may not have heard this before, in general, we have about 60,000 thoughts per day, the majority of which are negative and the majority of which are from the day before. And so we get our heads caught up in sort of all this thinking that then leads to procrastination. But what we do know around human, like around neuroscience, which covers physiology and psychology, biology, is that when we speak out loud what the challenge or problem is, we change our neurochemistry and we're able to move ourselves forward into our prefrontal cortex and solve the problem. And so pop a one in the chat if you've ever found yourself at home or at work working very much solo and getting stuck on a problem and it's taking you a long time. And has anyone pop a one in the chat if you've had that before? Now pop a two in the chat if that problem you then went and spoke to someone about it and then you solved it on your own just by having the conversation out loud. Pop a two in the chat if you've had that. Right. So now imagine this, that you always had the best instructor, mentor, teacher, coach available to you that in those moments you could talk to and actually process that challenge and it would help you through it. That's what's coming in the next couple of months to be able to handle this. Vision is coming. We're going to see in Raya the ability to support us actually understanding and guide us through how to do work as well. It's going to be, and that all thanks to the Gemini 2.0 model. The AI live chat customer service agents are about to go through another big maturity step, which will have them ready to go fully out into the market. And for those that were Digital Transformation Week, getting access to that. Computer guidance and control, mainly guidance first. Computer control will come a little bit later. There's a fair bit in computer control. We see some cool things happening out on the internet on computer control, but they're often very structured approaches. So, but we're certainly going deep into the zone. And then what I think is going to be a huge game changer for everyone is the multi-level director agents. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where you can have one director agent with manager agents, with then worker agents under each of those managers. And this is where you'll be able to even talk to your phone or send a message on WhatsApp or Telegram or Teams or Slack. And then with that message that you give to the director agent, it will go off and find like the manager of the department with the agent team members, get them to go and execute the task, and then bring the feedback back to the manager, back to the director, back to you. And so and mastering this skill for everyone in their roles will mean that we'll be moving to a world where you really are running, you're leading the robots, you're leading the AI agents, you're leading the AI robots in your roles. And leadership will evolve further. You'll be leading your team members, humans, and leading your AI robots as well to get the outcomes that you're after. Here's a bit of an, visually what that looks like to be able to just communicate to one director agent, and then it goes off, talks to a manager agent, then talks to a worker agent, and will execute on tasks using tools and automations, and then report back up all the way back to the director agent. In some cases, it will be about deploying one request that you have will go off and select different managers and different AI agents. And so this is where, and we'll see a structured automation workflow where those structured automation workflows can often fit right down here in the automations, so that there's a whole team that are able to go and execute these items for you, and it's all orchestrated together. Okay, wow. Let's have a look at some cool new things. I know that a few of you have been waiting for the knowledge base being added to an agent from a URL. That's got deployed last night. I haven't even had a chance to test it yet. That's how fresh this is. So knowledge base from a URL. I'll show you where that exists. We're going to have a look at renaming chats. And I put in there sharing agents, prompts, and workflows. It'll actually happen through the workflow area. I'll show you that. And then the big drum roll, of course, is the automations. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into Raya Pro, and we can have a look at these new advancements. Oh, and then after that, I'm going to tell you about our new online community and what's coming there for you. So let's have a look now at these new advancements. And the first thing is just a very simple one. And you might find at times where you've got lots and lots of your chat conversations that you've been having, and maybe some of them don't make enough sense, and you'd like to change the name of it. You can now rename that to make it make more sense. You can also use AI to regenerate that name. So how does the initial name come up? That comes from your initial prompt. But sometimes you want to keep that so it's easy to search and find and reference later on. So you can do that by renaming it. You can also now pin it to the top if it's an important one that you want to hang on to. Or I said a moment ago, you can regenerate the name. Hey, by the way, just as a side note, like on agents, I was at this conference and was on AI and bots and automation, and most people that were there were just so excited to learn about agents. But the maximum level that I got to was talking about GPTs. And a GPT and ChatGPT is kind of like an agent, but it doesn't have the ability to do agentic workflows like we do, or the automations that we have now, or some of the advanced concepts of building tools and timers and so forth. And so, and what I found really fascinating is just how hard it is to navigate ChatGPT if you've got lots and lots of GPTs, or lots and lots of agents. So the ability for us to, and then the other thing, of course, is that the agents don't write themselves, like what GPTs don't write themselves, like what we have with our agents writing themselves. So, or the ability to share them as easily, or a whole list of things. So just like full kudos to the team at Raya who are building out, and MultiPlai.tech who are building out this product. We certainly sit in a very incredible space. So easy to use. All right, so let's say with your agents that you now want to, when you're creating an agent, but you want to update it with the knowledge base that isn't just the PDF or Word document or text, or connecting to Google Drive or to OneDrive, or SourceWiki or OneBrain and these areas. But you'd say, I'd really like in my knowledge base to take that from a URL. Well, you can do that now. You can select upload from URL and you can insert that web address and it will scan for the content. Now, at the moment, it's going to scan for that web page. Okay. And at the moment, it's for the web page. It's not for the whole website because that might do the unhelpful information. It could be too much. So it's specifically to a URL, so you can add more. And in the future, we'll give you the ability to add multiple to it. And then future, I'm sure that there'll be some who will say just crawl the whole website, and we'll move to adding in a crawler as well. Also, just for those that are online, is anyone using Google Drive as a knowledge source? Can you just pop a Y for a yes in the chat if you're using Google Drive as a knowledge source? Cool, great, fantastic. Okay, so if you've used Google Drive as a knowledge source previously, you will have noticed that when you get the pop-up, it has like a bit of an error message that you need to pass through. That's now gone. Okay, that has been solved. So you don't have to see that, except to say that you'll need to clear out that agent, its previous connection to Google, and re-add it, because Google remembers the previous connection history that showed that error. So the error's gone, but you do need to have the step of removing your previous connection and adding it again if you just don't want to see that error message again. If you're not worried about it, don't worry about it. Just keep pushing on. It works nicely. So hope you love that, and it's going to be super useful for you, both the URL and the updates to Google Drive. Okay. And Ryan's saying still only has standard drive. What about business share drive? Ooh, okay. Thanks, Jen. We will release instructions on how to remove the connection scopes. Cool. And Jen, update there on from Ryan, so we make sure that that's resolved as well. Okay, the next thing now is, we often spend on these sessions probably, 40% of our time, 45% of our time actually doing the build and building out the agents, the workflows. And when I was at the conference the other day, if I'm in the right area, I might have to go to this instance. Was having a chat with someone who was about to launch a new business, and in their business, they're going to be helping optometrists in local areas with rolling out a new way to reduce or stop macular degeneration. Incredible. So amazing. And what they needed was really to look at how to set up the SEO strategy for pre-launch of new websites. And so, as we do as flow engineers, we quickly build out a workflow with our agents and our prompt templates and agents tools and prompt templates and so forth, and then give those instructions in here. And the cool thing is now what we can do is actually share that work with you. So this share button up here is going to allow you to copy this workflow and share it with another user in RAS. So I'm going to do that right now. The only thing I'll ask for our Go team members is that we don't publish this one as an organization, right? We're going to remember to keep it private because it'll just be too many of them. So there's that URL that come through. You can now, we'll do it one more time. You can now take that URL and obtain that whole workflow with the agents, with the prompting, with the descriptions, the whole lot's there. And actually, the only thing that it isn't going to have is if it's connected through to a data source that requires some authentication, then that won't be in there. You'll need to put that in. We hope you love that. I literally haven't even tested that yet, so please let me know because it's gone live last night. But you've instantly got it. So we can rapidly move ahead to now talk about what's in there. You can now just make the adjustments, the customizations to suit your needs. You've got more time to add more nodes. you can adjust that and play around as flow engineers as much as you like. So we hope you love that. That's our new first stage of our amazing like Santa Claus gifts coming in every week for you as we start sharing some really cool things. We'll also soon see these come available even on our public website, where you'll be able to review them and even test them out and then copy them into your accounts. And as well as the really exciting area, which is what I'm about to get into now, which is our workflow automation tool. So coming next week now, this is an upgrade. This is an upgrade. The advanced components here is going to cost more. We're finalizing the pricing and we'll release that early next week. I think what you will find though, is that from a return on investment perspective, it is going to be just next level when it comes to this. Now, I want to paint a picture for you. Who here has seen HeyGen as an example? Who's seen HeyGen? Pop a Y in the chat or a 1 just to say if you've seen HeyGen or know what HeyGen is. Yep, James, I thought you'd be on it. Zul, yep. For those that haven't heard of HeyGen, HeyGen is an AI avatar creation system. So you can actually get the AI, you can prompt it, you can write a script for it, and then it will generate an AI avatar that looks and sounds like you. You can actually it can sound like you. It's just incredible. Now, what we also know is that when it comes to marketing and lead generation today, video is incredibly important. In particular, reels on social media like Instagram and so forth. But when it comes to creating video content, it actually takes a bit of time, even if you're using tools like HeyGen. And the top influencers around the world are posting like 5 times per day. And those that are doing it, they're not doing it alone. They've got a team of people that make it work. And like if you're creating content 5 times per day on video, like every day of the week, you're going to need a team of like 5 or 6 people to make it happen. We're going to show you an insight next week on how one person can do this and create this volume of content. And that is the game-changing moment. In fact, some of the things we're going to show you are so advanced, you'll be able to be doing what, like a team of 5 or 6 people would do as the world's top marketers, and actually getting huge lead generation as well. So part of our labs, we'll show you an advanced version of that next week. Okay, right now, let's go and have a look at the idea of getting our blog articles written each week and having those posted online into draft format automatically for you as well. Just lost my controls to share the screen. Be with you in 1 sec. Where did they disappear? Okay, here we go. So in our automations area, once you come to automations, what you'll see on the screen is workflows, credentials, and executions. So workflows will take us through to where we can map out a process and then connect it to essentially any SaaS product. And if you've got a SaaS product you'd like to connect it to and it's not in there, let us know so we can build the node to support you. We've also got credentials because when we connect our AI agents and automations together, when we want to talk to those other SaaS products, the system needs to log in. So you can securely store your credentials in here, like a LastPass style system, so that it can go off and log in and do the work that it needs to do, or if it's got API keys and so forth. That's the credentials area. Then executions is to manage and watch all the executions of your workflows. Now, while I was over at a conference in the US, one of the ones I was playing around with was this networking AI automation. Some of you might have seen it in the Facebook group. And I set up a type form, because one of the things when you're at a conference is about actually staying in contact with everyone. Sometimes that can be a little bit busy and tricky. What I did was set up a type form. You can use any type of online form. I just used Typeform for this example. And I said I had a button on here which shared how I actually met the individuals. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see that one there. So I met them at the conference, and then I had a spot to take a photo of their business card or their badge. And then I took a photo with the person. So we had one together, and then popped in things like, the contact details, and then all our products and services that we offer. I had those as just items that I could choose to know what they were interested in. Now, in submitting the form at the end there, what happened next is it would send the information through to our CRM, Go High Level. We've got a white label version we call Cherish. We Go High Level, it sends it through, sets up the records and tasks and what to do next. It also stored the information in an Airtable, so in a database. And then from there, a Raya AI agent would take the information and, including obtaining the photos from Airtable, and write an email to that person that I just met and store it in my drafts so I could review it before sending it. Very powerful way to quickly stay on top of all those contacts while being at things like a trade show or networking. We'll share that with you. You're going to get access to this one. Today, I want to have a look at the concept of blog articles being automatically written every week and being posted online. Who would find that useful and helpful? Maybe you need it more frequently, but just as an example of being done weekly, who would find that useful and helpful? Let me know in the chat. Cool. There we go. Okay, I'm sure many of you are going to find that useful, but yes, please. I know, James, we're talking about, James, you and I will be doing an even more advanced one than this one as part of our digital transformation week journey, but this is the basic version so you can get the ideas. Now, what I've got here is the first step is to create, I've just said 10 blog article topics, and could be more. And you can start this by just filling out some, like a prompt template with some information. Then the AI agent is going to go and write those items. And then it's going to need to send that information into a database. And it's got to do a couple of steps to get there. It's got to actually convert that into a JSON string and then structure that into a JSON array and arrange the data and put it into the table. And sometimes, though, it might have an error. And if it's got an error, then it needs to be resolved. And so we like to do error handling just in case there are issues along the way. But the idea is once you've set it up, it will flow really, really neatly. Now, when we set these up, it's as easy as adding different nodes. So, for example, like if I wanted to use Outlook, or I would just do a search for Outlook or find it, or you see there, we saw YouTube there a moment ago. I've got things for YouTube. We've got hundreds of these nodes that are available for the connectors. And you're going to learn all about them as we keep working our way through doing these crazy automation templates. Now, the AI will take your prompt template information. It's going to put it into, Zoho. Let's see. We'll publish all these, Zoho CRM. So I think you might have some other ones there that we need. So let us know, Ryan, which ones you need so we can get them in there. Takes that information, pass it through. So when you have a look inside these, and we're going to have more detail on this in our community. I can see I'm going to run out of time. So I'm going to show you, we can test the workflow. So in this case here, we've said create 10 blog articles from auto posting in WordPress. So the topic, which I pre-prepared one earlier. So let me grab that. So I just copy and paste it. And yeah, so in a new community that we're launching, should be as early as Monday, you will be able to see all the basic training videos on how to use Raya, as well as these more advanced areas that'll be available. And then we'll have a very special new program coming to help support the more advanced things that you're doing and getting certified as AI and automation engineers or flow engineers as well. So I'm going to just do this one, the importance of using AI agents and AI automations for SMEs in 2025 using no-code AI agents like we see with Raya Pro. And I'm going to say, let's have these starting every Monday, and we'll do each subsequent post every 7 days. Now, with this, that has now been sent through. We can see that Raya is now working to complete the chat. And boom, sent it through, and it's now saving that information in an online database. In this case here, we've used ctable. It's just like Airtable, and we'll have that through. It's creating those rows right now. Looks like it's almost done. Come on, ctable. Come on, ctable. Come on, ctable. Come on, ctable. It's still processing that through. Based on time, I'm going to jump ahead and show you. What then happens is this is all getting saved into the table. We've just prompted it to have a title and then a short TLDR, short description. You can make them longer. And from there, and they're all saved as what we saw. From there, in this example, I've done mainly because of as demo, I'll save that one as a demo, a second step to it, where this one is about now going off and writing those blog articles and posting them into draft and then informing you so you can review them. Now, the first step here is a trigger step, meaning that I'm going to actually click it manually, but I would replace this with a timer so that it's going to do this every Monday, as an example. But for the demo, it's just easier that I've done it as a step so we can trigger it automatically. Now, it's going to go off and look for that list of articles in the ctable, and it's going to split out each of the rows so it can read it. And if the date in the table is the same as today, so for example, what have we got there? Let's make this one today's date. If the date is the same, then it's going to write that article and it's going to post it into draft on WordPress and then notify you via email so that you can check it, make any adjustments you want, and then approve it and post it. So much more autopilot is coming rather than being an agentic workflow and then having to go and copy and paste over. It's actually going to now start posting those out automatically. Now, the key will be in your prompting so you can get great results. So I've just done a quick one today. If I test this workflow now, it's going to run through. It's going to look for today's, it's found one. It's got one item here. It's notifying us of, there are 19 items that were false that did not have today's date. One did. So now our content strategist is writing the article, posting the article, and the workflow has successfully been executed. Now I'm just going to go off to my email for a sec and grab that email so you can see what it looks like. Just waiting for the email to come through. It did go through to my junk, so I've got to work on that one. WordPress blog, here we go, unlocking potential with AI agents. And now says that here, the WordPress draft article is ready. You can access or view it here. So I'm going to visit the link. And then here it is. So unlocking potential with AI agents. And so it's gone through, it's written, it's posted that, and now it's over to me to do my final edits and changes as well. And this will get really advanced, right? You'll be able to have this putting in things like your images and videos and so forth, and then all the way through to some super advanced versions that you'll start to learn about in our new program, where it'll even do linking to our other sites as well. So here's what's coming, and we'll close this off because we've got a minute to go. Our new online community is coming to you at academy.multiplai.tech. Let me change my screen so you can see the full-blown version. And that is launching next week. Okay. And in the first launch of it, what you're going to get naturally is all the Flow Friday sessions will be in there. We'll have all the basic training will be there. So you've got a one-stop shop to go to. All our events will be posted in the community as well. And then in about 6 to 8 weeks' time, we're launching a brand new program where we will have uh, advanced courses available to learn on. And you'll see the advanced versions that will cover the same structure each time. We'll always overview the problem to solve, creating agents, creating prompt templates, creating workflows, creating automations, running automations, troubleshooting, and additional software tools used. Now, we're bringing on 5 new subject matter experts. And every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there'll be a live session with a subject matter expert on AI and automation. So, for example, Mondays will be on marketing, Tuesdays will be on sales, Wednesday will be on business knowledge and data, Thursdays will be on talent and recruitment, and Fridays will be on finance, all the AI and automations. In those sessions with our SMEs, they will be going into deep dive on the really advanced automation workflows, and they'll be sharing those really advanced ones. Now, we'll still have Flow Fridays, and we'll be sharing really great automations, and we're going to have even more coming out for free on the site all the time. But the super advanced ones will be available in these sessions. There'll also be each day a 50-minute open Q&A session that will be with the SME. And the intention behind this is to help yourselves and organizations to obtain certifications in this area. Also, the reality is that most organizations are going to end up needing at least one AI and automation engineer in their organizations full time. And that those AI and automation engineers are still going to need to learn and upskill and have access to the experts to help them. So you'll be able to hire team members with full training and support via GoTeam, or you'll be able to go through and do all this training yourself as well. That'll be over to you as well. Or if you want to start your AI and automation consulting agency, you're primed to do it, because there is a forecast between now and 2030 that AI and automation consulting will be an $800+ billion industry that's kind of going to pop out of nowhere. So watch out for that. We'll have a look for your emails so you can see that coming. That is a paid program. We'll release more information about it. We'll certainly have a very special deal for all of our Flow Friday members as well. All right, there is nothing but maximum value coming. Now, Ryan's asking, any idea on the pricing on the automations? I really want to say something about it, but I can't release it yet because I'd hate for us to be way off track. We're still doing some analysis on cost to run it all. What I will say is it'll be different from the automation tools like Make or Zapier, which kind of tend to just get out of control with pricing because they charge per node communication, whereas we're going to say, most within reasonable world, unlimited nodes in a workflow, right? You don't really want to have too many nodes to get to a point where it's got troubleshooting issues over time. But we're not going to charge per communication because that's where these things just get out of control. We're looking at more, we want to see lots of agents, lots of workflows to help people deliver their results. Will we get access until pricing working? We were thinking of doing that, but the reality is we've still got a little bit of work to do, and then there's support and so forth. So, but that'll come out. But for some early adopters like yourself, Ryan, we'll certainly look after you to help you with a leg up to get started on it for sure. All right, team, thank you very much. We're 4 minutes over, so appreciate you hanging around. Next week, we're going to get really into building even more out. So thanks very much. Wishing you an amazing weekend ahead. I'm so excited for you and what 2025 is going to be all about, which is this significant amount of scaling, exceeding, and growth with AI and automation. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.